us come to the sixth function of the adverb clause. It is adverb clause of comparison. Here, comparison means to compare. Let us study the first sentence. He does not love me as much as he loves you. So, if I ask question to the principal clause, in comparison to whom does he not love you, then your answer will be as much as he loves you. As he loves you is actually the comparison. This is actually a subordinating clause and it is comparing the principal. It is actually a comparison of the principal clause. So the principal clause is compared with the subordinate clause in this sentence, right? So we can say that the clause thereby formed here is adverb clause of comparison. In sentence number 2, he scored better than he expected. If we ask question to the principal clause with in comparison to what did he score better, you can get the answer than he expected. So than he expected is actually a comparison to the principal clause. So here we can also say that the principal clause is compared with and the comparison is made by the subordinating clause. So in both the sentences we have seen that a comparative degree of has been used to compare between the principal clause and the subordinating clause, right? So we can easily consider both the subordinating clauses as adverb clause of comparison. In order to join principal clause and subordinating clause in adverb clause of comparison, generally we take the help of as followed by adjective and then the subordinating clause, and similarly comparative degree followed by than and the subordinating clause is actually, these are the two most common way by which we can form adverb clause of comparison. Let us discuss the seventh function of adverb clause. The seventh function of adverb clause is adverb clause of manner. Alright, as we have already learned when we were younger, what is adverb of manner? For example, the girl speaks fluently. If you ask question, how does the girl speak? Your answer will be fluently, and fluently is actually adverb of manner. Now, the word fluently will be substituted by a clause. You know, I have already discussed several times that clause is actually a sentence, a part of a sentence that makes a complete sense. So let us consider the first sentence. I found him as I had expected. If I ask question to this principal clause with how did you find him? You will get the answer as I had expected. So this part of the sentence is actually describing the manner in which condition you have found him, right? Similarly, in sentence number 2, he spoke as if he was the chairman, right? If you ask question, how did he speak? You will get the answer as if he was the chairman. So as if he was the chairman is actually the manner in which he spoke. That means the subject spoke. Alright, it is modifying the word spoke. Again, in the third sentence, she wept as though her heart was breaking. In this sentence also, if you ask question with how to the principal clause, how did she weep? You will get the answer as though her heart was breaking. It is actually describing the manner she wept, right? Now, this adverb clause of manner is generally joined with some of the subordinating conjunctions like as if, as though, etc. These are the most common subordinating conjunctions of which we take help for joining the principal clause and the subordinating clause in case of adverb clause of manner. Come to the eighth function of adverb clause, and it is adverb clause of result. Adverb clause of result. Now let us study the first sentence. He is so tired that he cannot walk. In this sentence, if we consider the principal clause and if we analyze this part, what is the analysis? What will be the analysis? He is the subject over here, is the finite verb, tired is adjective and it is modified by so, it is an adverb, because adjective is always modified by adverb. Now if you ask question to this principal clause, to what result is his being so tired? To what result of his being so tired? You will get the answer that he cannot move. So that he cannot move is the result of his condition, right? And it is actually describing the condition of the verb or the finite verb of the principal clause. So we will consider it as an adverb clause of result, right? As because it is describing the result of the principal clause. Now in sentence number 2, what is the sentence number 2? He spoke in such a manner that everyone was moved. Now in this sentence, if you ask question to the first part or the principal clause, how will you ask the question? To what result did he speak in such a manner? Then your answer will be that everyone was moved. So that everyone was moved is the result of his speaking in such a manner. Now here if we analyze what will happen, he is the subject of the sentence, spoke is actually the verb, the finite verb, manner is the noun, and the noun is modified by adjective such. Now what is the result of his speaking in such a manner? If you ask question, you will get the answer that everyone was moved. So that everyone was moved is actually the clause which is describing the result of his speaking in such a manner. So we will consider it as an adverb clause of result. Now in both the sentences, as the dependent clauses used over here are describing the result, so we can easily consider them as adverb clause of result. In case of adverb clause of result, the subordinating conjunctions that are used to join the principal clause with the subordinating clause are so that or such that, likewise, right? So this is the eighth function of adverb clause, and it is adverb clause of result. Come to the final part of adverb clause, and this is adverb clause of purpose. Now let us consider the first sentence. We eat so that we may live. Now here if you ask question to the principal with to what purpose do we eat? If you ask question in this way, to what purpose do we eat? Your answer will be so that we may live. So this is the part, means it is actually making a complete sense, and it is a clause, and it is also describing the purpose. Alright, purpose of the verb eat. So we can easily understand, or we may rather consider it as adverb clause of purpose. Similarly, if we consider the second sentence, he worked hard that he might succeed. If you ask question, to what purpose did he work hard? Your answer will be that he might succeed. So that he might succeed is a part of a sentence, but it is making a complete sense. So it is a clause. And it is also describing the purpose of the verb worked. So we can consider this subordinating clause as adverb clause of purpose, as because it is describing the purpose of the verb worked. Similarly, if we read the third sentence, she packed carefully lest she should forget something important. Now, similarly, if you ask question with to what purpose did she pack carefully, you will get the answer lest she should forget something important. So this lest she should forget something important is a part of a sentence. It is making a complete sense. It is a clause, and it is also describing the purpose of the verb packed. Right? So these three sentences have the subordinating clauses, which are all describing the purpose of the verb of the principal clauses, right? So we can easily consider all of these three subordinating clauses as adverb clauses of purpose, right? In order to join the principal clause with the subordinating clause in case of adverb clause of purpose, we take the help of subordinating conjunctions like so that, lest, that, etc. So here we come to an end of the chapter clause, where I have tried to describe you all the three different clauses: noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause, and the different functions of these three clauses. Thank you very much.